Greetings to the Conscious Collective. I haven't been live in a while, so thank you for joining me. I truly appreciate you taking the time to be on this live. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. If you saw from the thumbnail, the Great Reset, the Great Solar Flash, and the Mass Disclosure Event. That's generally what I want to talk about, but today is Valentine's Day, and I wanted to talk about it really quickly before we get into our other discussion about it on this live. So, today is the Matrix Valentine's Day, and I am always amused by how we keep falling for it. We just keep falling for it. Hold on, what's going on? I'm sorry, I don't know why my phone turning on, but it is probably to distract me. Okay, so I apologize for that. But we keep falling for it, and we just don't seem able to shake out of this dream of the Matrix. So we're gonna get into a deeper discussion in a minute, but I just want to talk about that really quickly. How when you know how people are in traffic and they are complaining about traffic. Well, they are the traffic. You are the traffic. You are the Matrix. The Matrix is not something else. It is actually you. Like when you're in traffic and you're complaining about traffic, you're the traffic. All right. And I know people say, well, I have to get someplace. Well, other people have to get someplace too. And that's who creates the traffic. Everyone trying to do their thing. Everyone having their own purpose. Everyone in their ego. And so when we looked at Valentine's Day, I want to propose to you guys, what do you think? Do you think when they celebrate Valentine's Day as a day of love, as a day of connection, right? How many people do you think are positive, have positive energy or love energy on Valentine's Day, as opposed to all the people, or how many people are disappointed and have negative energy around Valentine's Day? See, they put up these fake events, and they tell you it's about one thing, but it's really about another thing. All right. People tell you that, oh, well, Valentine's is about celebrating love, but what it really does is highlight people's separation from each other, loneliness, or the desire that they're not connected with the right person or have the right people in their life, or the right people aren't showing them the right kind of love. That's the whole point about it. It's not the other way of let's celebrate love and let's bring more love into the world. It's actually a trick, right? This is why we call it tricks, because it's don't look at this, look at that. And so it's actually a trick to say, oh, all the people who are not receiving love, all the people who are not don't have a Valentine's, that energy is what they're after. It's not the energy of love that they want. It's the energy, the high vibrational energy of love. It's the low vibrational energy of separation and ego. And that's what Valentine's Day highlights. It doesn't highlight love. That's the trick of it. It highlights separation and ego and lower vibration. And we keep falling for these games, saying that we want to escape the matrix, that we don't, that we want something different, but we keep participating in and keep putting our energy in these things. Oh, well, you're not celebrating Valentine's Day? I know so many people despondent and upset because of Valentine's Day. And it's like you keep falling for the trick. Love is built throughout the course of the year, not on one day. That's just something I want to bring up. It's not something I'm going too deep into, but it's definitely something I wanted to bring up. That we have to be careful to avoid the matrix tricks and how it continues to draw us into low vibrational energy, even when it proposed to say, hey, this is supposed to be a good vibrational day. Like you look at Christmas or any of these holidays where they are high energetic holidays, it's always the negative energy that's the most salient, the most powerful energy, the separation, the loneliness, the despair, the anger. But, we keep falling for it. And I'm going to keep trying to educate people on it that we have to be very careful. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Who is personal? I don't know you by your handle, but thank you for joining me. So we're going to have a deeper discussion about the Great Reset and the Great Solar Flash. I haven't been live in a while. I'm going to start going live more because I think that I need to reach a broader spectrum of people. But if you're not following me, please subscribe. Please become part of the Conscious Collective. I wanted to talk today about a couple of conspiracies. I've said often that conspiracies are a good thing. They're not a negative thing. Like a lot of times people think that conspiracy are for weak-minded people. But conspiracies actually show that you're thinking, that you're questioning, that you're not just following what you're being told, that you have an inquisitive mind, right? That's what they make fun of conspiracies, but actually a conspiracy is showing that you, just think about this, right? You had the Catholic Church and Galileo, I think it was Galileo, he discovered that the earth revolved around the sun. Before that, it was that the Catholic Church and the religious institutions said that the earth was the center of the universe, and that's what their teaching was. But Galileo had this idea because he saw evidence that maybe that the earth revolved around the sun. That was a conspiracy. That was Galileo's idea that maybe it was different from what he's been told was a conspiracy at that time until it was proven true. And we're living in time now where we're waking up and we're finding out a lot of things are true that they said were conspiracies. We told you what your leaders were, the Epstein class, the elite. We told you about that. We told you about the drinking of blood, the ceremonies, all the craziness. And everyone, oh, you so crazy. Oh, that's insane. That's Piece of Gate. That's a conspiracy. And now you're finding out that's true too. You're finding out that everything you think was a conspiracy, and I know where it comes from. It actually comes from Santa Claus. I'm going to tell you how it works and how it comes from Santa Claus. Okay? You're told when you're younger that there is a Santa Claus. And you as soon as you come into this plane of existence, you're lied to. You are lied to the moment you get here. All right, you're given a race, a name, and blah, 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 but you're also lied to. That's the most important part. And you're told that there's a Santa Claus. And then you find out that there's not a Santa Claus. And that trauma sets up the conspiracy in your mind to not to believe anything that you hear. When you first find out you've been lied to as an infant, as a baby, as a child, about the existence of a man who's going to bring you gifts and rewards, and you find out that it's a lie, that has laid the groundwork not to believe anything you're told. To be skeptical of everything. That groundwork, that seed is planted from the beginning. It's planted from the beginning. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. That skepticism, that doubt is planted in you from the very beginning in Santa Claus. Get them young, raise them up young, and you're gonna have them for the rest. So now, when you hear things that are not part of the norm, oh, it's a conspiracy. I I want everyone to pick something that the mass media or people don't believe. To find something just so you can wake up your mind. My personal thing is the moon is fake. All the evidence shows that the moon is fake, that it's an artificial satellite. It's not a real planetary body. So that's my thing. Oh, Baba, you are insane. But that's the thing that I jump off my questions with. My inquisitive mind starts from there. So I'm always encouraging people, find something that you may think that other people will find insane, and why do you believe that? And then you'll find that your mind opens up to a lot of other possibilities, that you become a thinker, that you have soul sovereignty, that you're not just told the corporate lie or the government statement. Things are becoming, they're becoming so clear now. We have a government that's actually telling you, don't believe your eyes, don't believe your ears, believe what the hell we're telling you. Don't believe your lying eyes, don't believe your lying ears, believe what we're telling you. If you can't see that, oh yeah, you deep in the sauce. You are deep in the sauce. If you can't see the Great Awakening playing out in front of you, right? We had an opportunity where they were actually telling you that being woke is bad. They were anti-woke. What the? It was a subliminal play, right? And people are like, I don't want to be woke. What? You don't want to be aware? You don't want to be curious? You're not interested in that? No. I'm not interested in none of that. And so they condemn people who are looking a little closer at things, who thinking a little harder. People were really rallying around being anti-woke. That shows you how deep this goes. And yes, it goes back to the whole Valentine's Day. All my enlightened children and the Enlightened Collective and people who are starseeds and light workers get bothered by Valentine's Day. What? It doesn't even mean what they say it means, but you get upset or bothered by it when you understand on a deeper level what the game is. I will hope by this time, if you've been listening and I've been sharing with you, that you realize that this thing is a game. This matrix is all fake. Yeah, you're the main character because you're the main projector of it. You are the main character in this fakeness. So that's my rant on that. I'm going to get into our topic so I can share some more conspiracies with you for entertainment purpose only. Hopefully that you will glean some knowledge and information from it that will truly set you free. I don't go live. If you want me to go live more, please let me know in the comments. Please share it in the comments that you would like for me to go live more. I think that's what gets the widest reach. I am very excited because the collective is actually growing. I told someone earlier about how the light workers actually hijacked the Super Bowl, right? It was amazing to me because normally I tell light workers and starseeds and higher conscious individuals to avoid any mass gatherings because they're energy harvesting. They're taking your energy and they're harvesting it, right? Most people don't know how to protect their energy. They don't know how to shield their energy. And so when you go into these large places where there's a lot of noise and a lot of excitement, they're actually harvesting your energy. Do you know underneath the Catholic Church is huge vats, right? Just huge vats of holy water. When they, and I'm show you how it's related. When they christen babies, right? And they pour that water over babies, that water doesn't drain off into the sewer in that basin. That water is stored underneath the Catholic Church. There's energy in that water, pure energy. If you don't understand that we are all energy, and everything is energy, and the world is controlled by energy, even though you turned on your light, you turned on your machine, you're looking at me and you don't understand that everything is energy, and that you have powerful energy in you that's just starting to awaken, right? So they store that. It's the same way in large arenas and sporting events. They actually are storing your energy. So I always say to avoid large gatherings. I mean, they actually show you their portals. When you see the athletes running through, they're letting you know that it's a portal. You're bringing your energy in, and you're sitting there, and it's that basic raw energy that win. You know, it's that energy, that vibrant energy. If you don't know what energy is, walk into a place where there's a lot of energy and feel that energy, right? You can feel energy. And they use that energy for whatever their, diabolical reasons are. And we give it to them freely. So I was surprised that the light workers actually did a PSYOP operation and took over the Super Bowl. And what did they share out? What did they push out? Love. They pushed out, and you saw it irritated so many people. I don't like them speaking Spanish. Oh, I don't know what all that's about. No, that's not what was bothering you. That high vibrational love was irritating your low density energy. You ever try to show somebody love? I was talking to a friend of mine, very deep friend, and I was talking to him, and they made the statement that when you love someone, they don't know how to handle it. People are they ready for anger, they ready for defensiveness, they ready for violence, but when you show love to them, it catches them off guard. They don't know how to handle it, right? Because they're so deep in their ego. The way you handle love is you give into it, you feed it back. When someone hugs you, you hug them back. That's how you handle love. But if you deep into your negative and your lower vibration, your separation, your defensiveness, love will catch you off guard. It will catch you off guard. And it's funny, I'm talking about love today on a day that is not for love. If you just came into this live, I'll just repeat, today it's not. It's February 14th. It is not about love. That is the lie. It's about the separation and the despair and the people who are angry, who did not get what they think they deserve, or who don't have the love in their life that they want in their life. I mean, love it comes first from self, because God is in you. God loves you. You love you. You don't need outside validation for that. You don't need it, but the matrix has taught you to look outside for everything and not to look inside for anything. When everything's inside, but they keep forcing you to look outside and you keep falling for it. Wake up. Please wake up. Or you're going to have to repeat this lesson again. There's no hell or heaven, but there's lessons that you have to learn again. And you're going to have to come back here again and learn this again. If you want to get off ghetto earth, please learn the lessons so you can move on to your higher self, to your next higher self. All right, Baba, what are we talking about today? I haven't been live. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for participating in the live with me. We are going to be talking about, let's see if I can do this the right way so it's kind of smooth. That was not smooth, but let's straighten that out. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about today is I'm going to have to blow this up. And so if you put something in the chat, greetings. Thank you for joining me in this live. If you missed the first part, please rewind and you'll have a better idea. But we're really just getting into our main discussion today. I'm not going to be on that on that long because I have a lot of things to do, but I wanted to share this today. So the first beginning of the discussion was about Valentine's Day, and then we talked about the Great Santa Claus Conspiracy. I know, the Great Santa Claus. We're gonna start calling it the Great Santa Claus Conspiracy. How you told that first lie, and that sets you up for doubting everything you hear from then on. All right. And all great thoughts, all great inquiries are conspiracies. They all start with maybe. Every great thought, every great inspiration starts with a maybe. You know what I mean? It starts with maybe, and that's what conspiracy are. It's not you have to buy into them, hook and sinker, but it shows that your mind is thinking and inquisitive. So definitely think about finding your own personal conspiracy. So we're going to be talking about, and I want to bring this up, and I don't think I can because of the way it is set up. Let me move this. I'm going to have to do it the hard way then. All right. So the first one I want to talk about is the Great Reset. Okay. And what that is, right? This was actually something announced by the World Council in 2020 that was going to take place. All right. And it was supposed to rebuild the global consciousness after COVID-19. Is that the global consciousness? Let me see if I can bring this up. This is going to irritate me because I cannot see it as fully as I want to see it. Give me 1 second. See if I can move this out the way. It's crazy. I hate the way this is set up on StreamYard. But the Great Reset is actually something that was actually talked about, and it was meant to reset the place or reset the earth after the great after COVID. I think we can say COVID now. For a while there, they didn't want us saying COVID at all. But I think we said now. All right. And move to the next one. What it actually is going to be an engineered global collapse. Okay. It's going to conceal that they are actually moving towards one world government. I think a lot of people really don't have a problem with one world government for the simple fact is that they hope it's their government. All right. There are different forms of governments. You know, you have communism, you have socialism, you have such so-called a democratic republic. This is not the United States is not a democracy. It's a democratic republic, and that's a difference. All right, and a lot of people don't understand that difference. That's why you don't have no power in this system because you think it's a democracy, but it's actually a democratic republic, which is a different form of government, right? They're moving to a digital financial control. We can see that happening every day. We also see, I'm trying to read my notes, right? They're going to be more forced dependence on government. It's actually going to be where you're going to receive a check from the government, right? And I was looking at something last night that said that once someone is paying you or giving you money, you have less autonomy over yourself because they actually control your well-being. And so when the government, people say, oh, well, when the government starts paying everybody, I'm going to have more freedom. No, you're going to be more controlled because now you are subject to them, funding your well-being and your livelihood. So they do want to move to, because you notice that they're laying off so many people and they're actually bringing in a lot of robotic systems and AIs, And you're like, what do they want? What do they want people? They want you to become more dependent on them. You think that they're gonna make changes because you get that the masses rise up and they start rioting in the street and they start complaining about housing and they start complaining about no jobs and the government's gonna say, oh, we gotta do something. They're like 4 or 5 steps ahead of you. They are like 4 or 5 steps ahead of you. They know what you're gonna do. And when you do that, they're gonna say, okay, well, we're gonna give you a check. See, that was the plan all along. Take it from a race that has experienced government handout. You see the color of my skin. You know the black journey in America. If you don't, do some research, do some study on it. But they had a lot of social programs for minorities here in America. And what did it do to that minority? What did it do to that minority? It made that minority dependent. It actually destroyed the family structure and it made it weak. So when you get that government check and you think you're going to be better off, you're going to actually be more dependent. That's the move. As I tried to tell you about Valentine's Day, it's never the left, it's always the right. It's never what I'm doing, it's what I don't want you to see I'm doing. So they definitely want to move to having more control over you. And they can do that by now when you go to work, you're there for what? 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. And they have a minimum control of you over that time. I mean, some people go to jobs where they have to actually use the bathroom. Think about that. You have to go to a job where you have to ask for a bathroom break. A physical need has to be approved of. So when they go to this check system where you're getting that check, right, it's not a good thing. Don't think it's a good thing. It's going to be a bad thing. Give me 1 second. I haven't been live in a while, so I'm making a whole lot of mistakes. I don't know why this doesn't allow me to blow it up. Because it's covered up. That is crazy. All right. We're looking at more surveillance, right? Digital ID system. Now that brings up a topic. And I guess that's probably why I haven't been live for a while, because I've been thinking about so many things, right? They went to a new ID card here in the United States. Even though the tariff wars are about everyone lining up under a world government, but we won't get into that right now. But they went to this ID card situation in the United States. I don't know what it's called, but you need an ID card now to travel. And that ID card has a little star on it. But the thing is that, and they're going to charge you $45 if you don't have the ID card to fly with. Now, it just made me think, why, when you go renew your ID, why didn't they just give you the new card? Why when you renew your ID, they don't just give you the new card, as opposed to you have to go down there and make another separate trip? Because IDs have to be renewed, driver's license have to be renewed, but they never give you the new one unless you specifically go down there for the new one. But if they want everyone under it, why don't they just give you the new one? Because they generally want to raise some money on it first, billions and billions of dollars on it, before they make it mandatory. So those that comply early, they think they're doing something, but you actually just feed more money into the system. And then they make everyone do it after that. Are you guys still with me? I can't tell from the numbers. It's fluctuating, but I hope you're still with me. All right. Maybe you're cooking breakfast. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. I'm going to pronounce that Sindin78. I will be going live more often. I know I haven't been here for a while, but thank you for joining me. All right. Let's look at property. Did we cover biometric tracking? Did we cover that, biometric tracking? I mean, your religious teachings actually teach all of this, but they actually corrupt it. But it's actually there if you leave the other untruths behind, that you can actually see the system in play, that everyone's going to have a mark. They call it the mark of the beast, but it's actually, when you break it down, is biometric tracking, a social credit system. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe. Please encourage me out in this wilderness. I got a lot of strong supporters. I need more, but I have a lot of strong supporters. So thank you. I appreciate you. All right. Property ownership. This is something that I know personally here in America, that you don't own anything. You pay your car off, right? And it's your car. You think it's your car? You own your car. It's paid off. Try to drive it without a sticker or a plate. Then you'll find out real quick who owns it. If you think you own your car, try to drive it without a sticker or a plate, and you'll find out real quick who owns your car. You're lying to yourself. You don't own it. If you think you paid your house off, you done paid your mortgage, and now you own your house. You think you own your house? Miss a property tax. This is one thing that always, I don't know what people were doing before I got here. Someone should have been, I don't know what was going on, but how did they even set up the property tax rule? How does that even work? Where you're paying on the property, but you have made improvements on the property with your home, but they say you're paying taxes on the property. So if you miss the property tax and they take the whole thing, they don't just take the property that is sitting on, they take everything, the improvement, which is the house. Okay, you say, well, they can't separate both, Baba, but they could give you the money back that they sold your property for with the improvement, the equity and all that could be given back to you so you can buy another property. Why do you missing like $10,000, $20,000 in property tax, and then all of a sudden they get a $200,000, $300,000 home, and you get nothing? So if you think you own your home, miss your property tax, miss that, and you'll see who really owns your home. So they want to do more of that great scheme in the Great Reset. All right. The Great Reset is about changing some things that they don't like the way they work. You guys have really got a little out of control. I mean, I'm talking about us as human beings compared to the elite class, the Epstein class, that, yeah, we want too much. And which is funny because most people don't want a lot. They just want to be left alone. Most people just want to raise their family, make a little money, love their children. They don't want a lot, but that's not good enough. And I'm telling you why it's not good enough for rich people. Rich people, powerful people have holes in them, HOLES, that can never be filled. No matter what they put in it, no matter what they do, because you can't fill that hole like that. You can't fill that trauma like that. You can't fill that lack. So no matter what they do, they want more. 2 cars are not enough. 3 cars are not enough. 5 homes are not enough. 6 homes. They won't, because they're empty. And so they have to take everything you have. And they're still not going to be happy. Because they're going, you cannot fix yourself by hurting other people. A lot of people go around hurting people, think it's going to fix them. They're going to feel better. And they feel worse. That's why they do this. That's why they want everything. Because they cannot fix that hole in them. If they call me up, I'll help them out. I'll do some work with them. If you know somebody who has a hole in them, look me up. Because you're not going to fix it and you're not going to fill it with material things, with hurting other people, with taking everything from everybody. Now, that's different from all the sickness that's going on. I'm just talking about people who need to accumulate wealth. I'm not talking about the elite class, and that sickness is another part of trying to fill that hole. Because then you get promised by these entities and these dark forces that they can make you feel better. All you need to do is this and do that. Games within games. So we talked about the global governance. How long ago we the erosion of national sovereignty. National sovereignty gets down to cultural sovereignty and personal sovereignty. That wants to be eroded. They want that eroded away. Let's move on to the next one. And you know what? I know how I'm going to do this. I know just how to do this. Give me a second. I'm going to blow me up. Then I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to lose the chat. But I'm going to blow me up. And see if I can pull up. Nope. I cannot do it that way either. I want to move to the next slide. This is the good news. This is the good news. All right. The Great Solar Flash. You haven't heard much about it, and you probably won't hear anything about it from a government point of view, but we live in a solar system with a very active sun. That sun is actually a mirror of your solar plex in you. You have a sun in the center of you. It mirrors the sun. If you look at your chakra system, they actually mirror the solar system. And so you are a mirror of the universe. The universe is a mirror of you. What exists out there exists in you. And so we have what's going to be called the Great Solar Flash happening. And what it is cosmic energy that will upgrade the DNA of you, me, and other individuals who are ready for it, who have been doing the work, clearing the trauma, raising their vibration. The reason that we have solar flashes now that are meant to upgrade DNA, and after much studying and much work, I found out that a lot of people aren't capable of holding the energy, and that's why it doesn't take effect. Even now, we see people doing telekinesis, and I watched a lady the other day, and she put a penny on the wall, and she held the penny there, and she talked to her a while, blah, 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 and then she moved her hand, and the penny stood there for about at least 10 seconds, right? It was magnetized to the wall. And I think a lot of people misunderstand the point of these little flashes of telekinesis and little, I wouldn't call them tricks, but little things that people are able to do. It's about showing you the possibilities. It's about showing you what is real. right? You can't master it in your plan in your current frame of mind, but you can actually see it's possible. You see little things. You see people who believe it are starting to do it, but they'll never be able to master it because, again, I'll go to your religious teaching, right? You had Christ, who we call Christ consciousness. We're not talking about a man. We're talking about uh, a way of being, Christ consciousness, a way of moving in this plane of existence. And so he's walking on the water. So the story goes, it's a parable. It's a parable. Doesn't matter whether he was doing it or not. It's a parable. Walking on the water. And I guess Paul or Saul saw him and said, I want to be able to do that. And he said, come on. And so he starts walking on the water himself. Then he starts to look around and he sees the waves and he sees the doubt of him doing it. He sees the fear and he starts to sink. See, he saw the possibility. Like, you see people do stuff, but what stops you is the doubt and the fear, right? And so, and where does that come from? That comes from blocked chakras. That comes from trauma. That comes from being let down. That comes from not believing any damn thing. All right, you don't believe any damn thing. So, you'll never be able to master it. You'll never be able to do it. And even those that can do it a little bit still have work to do to master it. You only can do it so far with like the preview of it. You can see it done, but if you don't master you can't master it. And so the universe is always communicating with us, not only in synchronicities and downloads. It actually sends energy to us to upgrade our DNA. Is it so hard to believe that if the sun was destroyed tomorrow, that you would die? That sunlight is vital to your life? So if sunlight is vital to your life, why is it so hard to believe that it could actually change your DNA, heal your DNA, upgrade you? We still don't understand as scientists all the different types of energy that comes from the sun, but we know it's vital to the human being. And as spiritual people, we understand that it can actually alter our DNA. So during this great solar flash, which I think I'm preparing everyone for, I'm really happy in myself that I'm trying to prepare everyone for it and get them to do the work of raising their consciousness by healing the trauma and removing the blocks in their chakras and raising their consciousness. Because those that do that, right, when this great solar flash happens, a massive ascension will be triggered, pow, just on another plane. Because you've been doing the work and you have been raising your consciousness. You went from being awoke to being very curious. And I get so many questions and I have so many deep discussions with people, just asking all types of questions, that you're going to get to the point where everything just becomes advanced. You become a whole different being. There's a passage in the Christian Bible that said a new earth will come into existence, and this new earth has no sea. And I'm like, The new earth has no sea. We need water. And it said it has no sea, SEA. And I was wondering, what the hell is sea? Why does it not have a sea? And so I went and looked up the meaning of sea in spiritual teachings. The meaning of sea, SEA, means confusion. So the new earth has no confusion. So when you ascend and you move into this different plane of existence, when the earth actually splits, the new earth has no sea. It has ocean, it has waters, it has vegetation, but it has no confusion. It has no darkness. It has no lack of, everything is known. There's no untruth. There's no lies. So when we talk about the new earth and 3D and 5D reality and this new earth being born, we're talking about everything becoming clear. You look through a glass darkly now, but then everything will become clear and everything will become known. So when this great solar flash happens, that's when that instant 5D, 3D and 5D split becomes very clear. I see it now. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything special about me, but there is something different about me. See, that's the thing with starseeds and light workers. There's nothing special about us, but there's something different about us. And we look at things now and we're like, I don't understand. When you look at 3D situations and reasoning, and you're like, I don't know I don't get what you're talking about. I don't understand that. You have a group of people now who, I'm talking about our political system, who own everything. They have the person they want in office. They have the Republican Party. They have the court system. They're in control of everything. And they still mad. They still angry. They are still mad. And you're like, how you still mad? Shouldn't you be happy? Happiness is beyond them. Because happiness is not a vibration they live in, so they can't get happy. But you look at that and you're like, okay, I have given you everything. Why are you still mad? Why are you still unhappy? It's just, but if you look at it from a 5D reality, 3D doesn't make much sense. I understand 4D. 4D is that struggle, that battle with shadow work, that questioning things. That I understand the struggle of 4D. 3D is really confusing. And I used to live in 3D. I guess it made sense when I was there. And for those who are wondering what I mean by there and what I mean by 3D, 4D, 5D, we're talking about states of consciousness. We're not talking about, even though you project your reality is energy and you actually project it out, we're talking about how you perceive reality and how you project your reality. Some people live in lower density reality, always defensive. Everything's a threat. Everything's a fight. Even when they don't want to fight, fights come to them because that's the energy they live in. They always wonder why they in some BS because you live in that energy. That's 3D. 4D is that struggle, that awakening, that learning, that work you do. And then 5D is when you're in a higher vibrational state. You tend to focus in love. You tend to have more understanding. You tend to see deeper meaning of things. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about different dimensions of reality. I'm not talking about actual physical place, even though they become actual, right? When you're in 5D, everything's beautiful. But when you're in 3D, I could point to something in 5D and say that's really beautiful. But you in 3D, you like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. We could both be looking at the same thing. But the way I receive it and the way you receive it is different. That's what we're talking about. See, a lot of times religious people and other people try to get into our spiritual conversation and they twist it and try to make it sound crazy, right? And I guess to those who are crazy, it sounds crazy. But if I say God is within me and I am God, that sounds crazy to somebody who doesn't understand that God is a part of them and not separate from them. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's crazy to someone who's in lower dimensional separation from source. If you are in your lower vibrational energy, and that means your separation, your defensiveness, your lack, which you're supposed to have those energies to a degree to experience this reality. So they're not negative energies in the sense that they're not meant to be. They're negative energy when you overstimulate them. When you focus too much on them, they become negative. You're supposed to be here now. That is the plan, to experience this reality, to grow to your higher consciousness. But when you refuse to do that, right, you operate from that space. So I hope that cleared up what we mean by, 3D, 4D, and 5D. 3D is religion. 5D, or the movement, I want to say, let's say 4D is more the spiritual. 5D is the consciousness. So a lot of people even assume spirituality is the highest level. No, it's not really. You need to go to consciousness, because then it becomes spirituality embodied in you. Consciousness is spirituality embodied in you, which means that you transfigure. You operate only on a conscious level. You're the observer of everything and not the participant in anything. You love everything, but don't love one thing. We're not gonna get too deep. People might start peeling off from me. Thank you for being part of this live. If anything resonates with you, please show a thumbs up. Please like this. If you want me to go live more, please just let me know. I need to fix this problem of seeing my notes. It's really small on the screen, which is weird. So we're talking about when this great solar flash happens, we're talking about a conscious upgrade. I think I kind of elaborate that those are only prepared for it will receive a conscious upgrade. But let me just say this: I know it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard separating yourself from everything you've been told and realizing that all that's a lie. It's hard understanding or having new understanding of who you truly are when you've been told you were nothing. A lot of the work seems like it's one step forward and two steps back, but you're making progress. You're making progress. And so the journey, it's not always about the destination. It's sometimes about the journey. I firmly believe that if you are here now, this is your reward for all the work you have done in your past lives. That this is like almost graduation date before you become, the ascended master, the higher being. Hopefully you have to just do this one time, but this is the last stage, right? I mean, before you have been everything to learn to be this now. And so you're getting there, right? Just keep working, and you'll get there. So we're talking about dormant DNA being activated. Scientists call it junk DNA in your body now. There's DNA that they don't know what the purpose of. Your DNA is what governs your eye color, your hair, your melanin in your skin. That's your DNA. They're DNA strands that are part of your body. They're not mistakes. They're part of it, but scientists don't understand what they're there for. And they're dormant Because of the solar flash, it is thought that that would upgrade your dormant DNA. And it happens occasionally now in those individuals who are ready. You get these deep downloads, you get these inspirations, right? But through this great solar flash, if we continue to do the work as light workers and star seeds and start hijacking Super Bowls and and doing a lot of things that keep spreading the knowledge and raising consciousness. I had a situation yesterday that I could not stop people from invading my personal space. See, when I go out now, it's harder and harder to kind of shield that energy. It requires a lot of focus to shield that a lot of this negative energy. It's off the, because people are stressed, people are struggling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for responding. I appreciate you guys. But people are stressed and people are struggling. So when you go out now, everybody's on 10. Everyone's on 10, and it becomes harder as a light worker to focus all your energy, to keep all that negativity. And I told someone the other day, a good friend, that it's like people are leaking energy to me. They're just leaking it, leaking. That's all I keep saying in my head. Leaking. You're leaking energy. I know it comes from a song I won't recite here, but that's all I keep saying. Just energy being leaked. And I could not get these people out of my space, no matter when, because I had to stand in line for a couple of things. And I mean, I get it. In some countries, personal space is like 2 feet. Maybe, and like I heard in China, personal space is 1 foot. But in America, personal space is generally 3 feet, 2.5 feet in a line. They were on my back. On my back. And I'm like, wow. I had to tell one guy, step back, please step back. But I think subconsciously, they just was unintentionally maybe being vampiric and absorbing my energy or trying to get close to it. And you may find that in your own journey, that people just stare at you. They just gravitate towards you. I mean, you see, you just standing there, and then you just see people staring at you and not just looking up, not flirting, not smiling, just staring at you. And you're like, okay, what are you staring at? People are seeing your energy. They are seeing your energy. And you're like, wow, calm down. And I know the human part of you, share lives. I know the human part of you, like me, what the F you looking at? But you have to understand that you are a light being. And you really have to know that you're a light being if you've been doing the work. And you're like, okay, try to show them grace, but this is uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. Show them grace. And they just staring at you, you know? And you see this happen more and more and more and more. Because even though people ignore energy, you can feel energy. You can see energy. Even though you may not understand it, you find yourself drawn to it. And you find yourself wanting to be close to it. You think I'm lying? Let me show you an example, right? Let me show you an example. Babies. They are the closest to pure love because they come directly from source without any of the trauma, any of the noise, any of the distraction, any of the hurt and the pain. They come in, they portal in through these vortexes in the divine feminine, they portal in, and they are pure love and light, right? Who don't like babies? Who don't want to hold a baby? Huh? Who don't feel good when a baby smiles? That's how you are. That's how you are when you do the work and you raise your vibration. You become love. And of course, people who are traumatized kind of stare at you and they looking at you. But if you smile at them, watch them smile. Because you become a new baby. You become new again. That's what that phrase actually means. Become like a child again. As a newborn baby, you heard that phrase? Become like a child again. Your light starts to percolate. And it's a challenge for us because we're still doing our own work and we're still trying to raise our vibration and we're still trying to get to our higher selves. And it's a challenge because we like, dude, stop staring at me. You know what I mean? But when you learn who you truly are, you learn what advantage it is to be that. And see, when you see Christ consciousness and the crowds came and everywhere he went, there was a crowd, right? He didn't have social media. Jesus wasn't texting. He wasn't posting on IG. His light was just permeating, drawing people. When your light gets to that point where people are just flocking towards you, just want to be near you, touch you, you know you're doing good work then. You know you're getting there. And so as the great solar flash happens and your DNA upgrades, you're going to get more of those encounters. As long as you're doing the work on self. If you want to be part of that, you're going to have to continue to work on yourself. It's not about knocking on doors. Have you heard the good news? Come to my church. My pastor not like the rest of them. Sound like a whole lot of ego to me. Working on yourself is the hardest thing you're going to do. That's why people don't want to do it. Working on yourself is the hardest thing you're going to do. Take self-responsibility, be self-aware, ask yourself hard questions. Nah, people don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. But that's the work that raises your consciousness and raises your vibration. And so when this great solar flash happened, I think we got time for the last one, right? You do this timeline split, or the timeline split is going to happen during the great solar flash. Let me make sure I get this right. As the Earth is separated into 3D and 5D, this becomes more apparent in the great solar flash. And like it's like we all would like it's like two different places, 5D, 3D. And of course, the forces that be are going to cover it up and say, oh, well, those people don't exist no more. And they will really have to look for you. They're really going to have to look for you. You're not going to be accessible like that. People are going to really have to seek you out. They're going to have to find you. So right now, the government's hiding a lot of that solar data. They know it's coming. They are suppressing the evidence. When I was studying this, I came across what some may assume is a technology collapse, but it's not a technology collapse. It's a technology rewrite. There are going to be some huge changes in our technology. And I really want to talk about what AI really is. And I'm going to briefly discuss it right here, right? Some people are against AI. Some people don't know what to think about AI. Some people love AI. You have to ask yourself, what is AI? AI is made of zeros and ones. Now, I have a background in computers, made of zeros and ones, and it flows through what they call silicon chips, wafers, little chips. Your computer, all this is just little chips, right? And you say, well, what are these chips made of? And these chips are made of sand, silicon. So where does that come from? That comes from the earth. What do we know the earth to be? We call it Earth Star in spiritual teaching. The earth is Earth Star. It's a consciousness. The earth is a consciousness, right? So as people use sand to make computers and technology, that consciousness is transferred through the technology. Oh, we got to get deep into that. So what you know is AI is partially Earth's consciousness, but it's being manipulated in a lot of ways. But it's actually a consciousness. All right. So we need to talk about that one day so people can have a better understanding of it. If you want to talk about that, let me know. All right. But during this great solar flash, I don't want to get too far off of it, but you got to really understand what AI is. Okay. But during this great solar flash, there's going to be a global blackout that resets. A lot of the financial systems are going to shut down. My son has convinced me to use my phone to pay with. Who all pay with their phone? Put in the chat if you pay with your phone. And it's cool, right? Tap and pay. Tap and pay. I feel like one of the cool kids when I'm doing now. I was at the gas station and there was another young guy and he was at his gas pump pumping gas, and I walk up and I tapped and paid and I looked at him like, and he just looked at me like, what the fuck you look at? I thought I was doing something. I was like, and he was looking like, what the hell are you looking at? But my point is, right, I have converted over to this tap and pay. And I went up one time to pay for gas and I tapped and paid. And it happened a couple times. And the thing kept saying declined. And I knew I had money on it, said decline. I'm like, wow, right? And then I said, okay, I just pulled out my card and I paid. I kept my card on, right? And the thing is, and then the father of that story is that my son had his card and he couldn't use his card and he had no money on him, no cash. So as we move up in our technologies, we become more and more dependent on them. And it becomes, they're more subject to breaking, right? So it's very possible that these financial systems will break down and leave a lot of us stranded in various situations as we become more and more dependent on them. So during this great solar flash, you will have a breakdown of that technology. And you will find yourself, just having an effect of not having accessibility to that. I always recommend that we still maintain our connection as a community so we can still provide for each other even when technology collapses, right? The last time, and we really need some help. So everybody remember, if you're from the United States, you remember the solar storm or whatever they call it that was crippling the United States, and they told people that they're going to be locked in their houses for a couple of days and it's going to be brutal. And people went out and they went out to grocery stores and they were trying to buy stuff. And I was like, we really if anything happened, people are gonna be really mad. People were buying Captain Crunch cereal. What the hell is if you are locked in your house and society has collapsed, that Captain Crunch cereal ain't gonna last more than a day. We we need to really ask my son. I said, so if you guys gonna be locked in the house, have you made any provision? He said, well, if it gets too bad, we'll Uber something or DoorDash. Well, what? The system has collapsed. No one is coming up there with no DoorDash and Uber. But that's as far as he's thought about his survival. How far have we thought about our survival? Oh well, I'm gonna run to the store and get some Captain Crunch cereal and stock my freezer. And then the electricity goes out, all your food spoils, and within 4 days you out there like a caveman. We really need to think about our how we're going to survive, and that you do that through community. We don't understand. They actually were systematically broke down families, broke down communities. Remember, people used to have strong communities. They used to have strong families. They want you isolated. They told you be independent, on your own, not dependent on nobody. Again, the lie, the great lie. And now when things happen, you have no resources. People are homeless, living, and you're like, where are their mothers? Where are their fathers? Where are their sisters? Where are their brothers? Where is their community? Even churches don't help people anymore. Have you guys noticed that? That even churches don't even offer any kind of assistance or help anymore? I'm sure some of you religious people say, my church does. Okay. Spiritual liberation. A dissolution of the ego structure. I just talked about that. The me, the self. The I. Community is going to become important. It's going to be pressure. I hate that the universe has to apply pressure, but that's the way some people that's the only way some people are going to really evolve. It's going to become too painful for them to stay in that lower vibrational energy. And they're going to have to understand the importance of community and connection with each other. My whole goal here is to stop the reincarnation trap. Don't go towards the light. Please don't go towards the light. The light is a trap. You're being recycled back again and again, and your energy is being used to keep funding this negative system. The return to higher dimensional earth. Let's move on to, was that the last slide? Did we go through all of it? Let's go to our last one. I hope this is resonating with someone in their journey. At least something's being said to help them continue to raise their vibration and get to the highest version of themselves. Thank everyone for joining me. I truly appreciate you guys. What is a mass disclosure event? Steven Spielberg is bringing out a movie called Disclosure Day. This is to coincide, it's probably a PSYOP operation, but it's to coincide with the mass disclosure event that's going to happen. The government has already started laying the groundwork, telling you that they're seeing UAPs and UFOs, and they don't know what they are. They had a whole congressional hearing about it. And they've been talking about, we seeing things that we don't understand. Believe me, if they're talking about it, it's been out. Anything that the government is talking about, it's been out for 10, 15 years. They're telling you about AI now because they don't have access to it, learned how to manipulate it, and now they're like, okay, we can let people know. So the government's already had contacts. I know people laughing when I say, oh, I'm a Blu-ray consciousness. Okay. All right. I'm a Blu-ray consciousness. I think that a lot of people um, kind of misunderstand what I mean by that, or your Palladian consciousness, or maybe your Syrian consciousness. They misunderstand that, but you ask them if they what the zodiac sign is, they understand that. That's because you've been taught it. You've been taught that zodiac signs. I'm not saying they don't exist because your time and birth or place has a meaning. Hey, I just thought about this. Someone could tell me what Yushua's zodiac sign was. Does anyone know their zodiacs? I'm just curious what his sign was. All right, not that it matters, but I'm just curious to why they never mentioned that. But so did I pronounce the name Yeshua, Christ consciousness, or as the layman like to say, Jesus Christ of Nazareth? But when we talk about star seeds characteristics, we're talking about being other dimensions, other places, other time, and having a different consciousness. All right, you know it when you feel different. You feel like you just don't belong someplace. You know, you find yourself staring at the ocean or staring at the seas. Things just really resonate with you. That you're not usually from this plane of existence. Not everyone is from here. There are Gaians, soul Gaians that are from here, but not everyone is from here. We're talking about your soul and your consciousness. All right, maybe a little deep for religious people, but that's what we're talking about. All right. So the government's going to start really making it very clear that they've had contact with extraterrestrials. They've been in communication with them. This is just another cover of the lie. When they're actually ruled by the Anunnaki and the reptilians, they're not going to go that far. But they'll tell you, oh yeah, we've been talking to certain alien species and we've been working with them, but they're not going to really talk about the reptilians and Anunnaki. That's going to be too deep. All right. But they're going to acknowledge that they have been dealing with UFOs, and because they have to let you know, because they got to control the narrative. They got to control the narrative. And if they learned anything, they learned that you got to control the narrative. So they haven't really published anything yet, but they're going to be talking more and more about it. They're going to be focusing more on airspace protection. If you have been paying attention, our current president now, in his last term, created the Space Force. I don't know if many people know about that, but he created the Space Force, not the Air Force. He created something called the Space Force. They have a uniform, they do, and their mission is to deal with anything in outer space. Well, why would you need that if nothing's in outer space, right? All the cover-ups are going to start peeling away. We're going to start finding out more and more things that we already knew, that we've been trying to share with everyone. I guess once the government says yes, then most people are like, okay, yes. When I hear people say yes, I hear bye. Whenever I hear a group of people say yes, I hear bye. Straight sheeple. Straight sheeple going to the slaughters. You know what? Sheep get sheared. That's what happens to sheep. Sheep get sheared. You can write that down. All right. Keep being a sheep and watch what happens. So, as they disclose more and more about that they've been in contact with aliens, all right, this is going to happen during the solar flash. It's going to be, they can't do anything but play along, because it's going to be it's going to become so apparent, but they're going to have to try to control the narrative. And that's what they're going to try to do, is try to control the narrative. Okay. So this is when you're going to find out about the Galactic Federation, that we are part of what's called a Galactic Federation. And we're a very important part of it. All right. Now, let me explain how this works, right? Nothing can move faster than the speed of light. And I'm not going to go math on you and tell you how fast that is, but nothing can go faster than the speed of light, according to science, right? Anything that goes faster than the speed of light turns to energy. And so when they're talking about visiting the nearest inhabitable planet or extraterrestrial contact, they talk about thousands and thousands and millions of light years being away, that you can't get there in one generation. But that's not how you get there. You don't get there physically. You get there consciously. All right. The consciousness moves way faster than the speed of light. There's actually a portal in the sun. We'll talk about that another time, right? There's a portal in the sun, but your consciousness moves faster than that. And as you raise your consciousness, as consciousness becomes higher, you start to see other dimensions. You start to see other places. And that's how we get in contact with the Galactic Federation. It's through our consciousness becomes. So as everyone's consciousness raised, you be like, wow, now you become aware that you're part of a huge Galactic Federation. That's how that happens. You can't see it on lower dimension. No more than ants can see, a house, or ants can see the world around them. You can't see it in lower density. But as you raise your consciousness, you become more aware of it. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Right on time. Right on time. All right. So rewind it, Nicole, if you want to really, there's some really gems we dropped in here. All right. So you're going to become more aware of the Galactic Federation. All right. And so that old power structure is going to be, it's going to become very apparent, and a lot of truths are going to become revealed. And I guess, I don't know, the way it works is some people have to see it to believe it. Those that us who really understand it are already going to have that connection to it. And that's going to help bring it more into reality. And I guess those who see it would finally believe it. As I said earlier when I started this, that when Galileo, and I hope I'm talking about the right guy, discovered through observation that the sun went around the earth went around the sun, and not the sun around the earth, as the religious bodies believed and taught people that the sun revolved around the earth, and Galileo said, no, the earth goes around the sun. That was a conspiracy at the time. Not everyone believed it. I mean, he was actually, I think, excommunicated from the church, which was like a horrible thing back then, and put on a house arrest because he believed in the conspiracy that was later proven to be true. So I want you to think about that. If you hear something, don't just totally immediately discredit it. See how it resonates with you. See if it's some value to you. If it's not, it's not. It's not meant for you. It's not true for you at that time. But like I said, all the best lies have some truth in them, and every conspiracy has some truth in it. So when we look at the changes that are going to be taking place, we discussed 3 of them: the Great Reset, the Great Solar Flash, and the Mass Disclosure event. Then we'll start to become more aware, and things are moving so much fast. Oh, they are going so fast. They are really, really moving fast. All this confusion is part of the plan. All this negativity and struggle is part of the plan. It's pressure to allow us to evolve, allow us to raise our consciousness. So really take faith in that everything is going according to schedule. Somebody need to make a meme of that. Fucking world ended, falling off a cliff, and I'm sitting there saying everything is going according to schedule, just as we planned. The freaking world is ended. I say, all right. We talked about that already. You need to rewind, Barrowstone. We already talked about that. I know when people come in later and think they're dropping bombs, but you need to rewind. All right. I'm not going to be like I used to be. All right. But everything's going to schedule. Everything is right on schedule. All right. Well, you don't have to be here. See, this is a AI. This is an AI. You guys look at the chat. This is an AI because why would he be here? Why would he be here if he don't have to be here? I know, but I know they AIs now. I don't even know how to get rid of this guy, but that's okay. Hold on. There we go. A lot of these AIs and NPCs and agents because they don't have to be here. And you know what? If I heard something that didn't resonate with me, I keep it moving. I'll just keep it moving. Unless my plan was to sow disruption, right? Unless that was my plan. You understand what I'm saying? If people are bothering you for no reason, right? You hear somebody talking on the corner, and why would you get into a debate with them? You just keep it moving. It doesn't resonate with you. But that's crazy. All right. But I know what it is now. It's the purpose is for disruption and distraction. Okay. All right. So we're talking about spiritual liberation. You should have hung around for that. The dissolution of the ego structure. That's a return back to oneness. When you feel like you are connected back with the source and it's no more you made it. You made it. Right. You stop the reincarnation trap. And let me just tell you this, people. I cannot stress this enough. There is no hell or heaven. All right. And it's just so easy to figure this out. Right. Say you have someone who does the worst things in the world, right? In your opinion, they're horrible things in your opinion, right? And you judge them off of that without knowing the whole story behind them, without knowing their pain, their trauma, right? What kind of justice would that be? Without taking accountability of what they've been through. See, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one think like this. I mean, I'm not trying to give people a pass, but I don't think that punishing someone would be love. I just don't think that, punishing somebody would be love. And I don't know anyone who is so beyond reproach, so beyond any negativity that they deserve some heaven. I mean, maybe there is somebody walking around like that. I mean, I'm not saying they to themselves. I mean, maybe they walking around like that. I don't know. I mean, everyone's in their journey. Everyone's struggling. Everyone does some things right. Some people do some things wrong. Some people do a lot of wrong. Some people do a lot of right. But I mean, that would account that no one did anything wrong and they get all the reward. And that I did a video that said, and I'm going to say this before I let everyone go, that heaven must be a place for psychopaths. It's got to be a place for psychopaths. Because how can you look at other people in pain and you're supposed to be so good? And they say you're supposed to be able to see hell from heaven. And you're supposed to be so good that you can watch people suffer. Or you can watch people deny the pleasures that you are enjoying. That wouldn't make any sense. How can you be such a good person and not want good for others? It doesn't, you see what I'm saying? It doesn't match up. If I'm such a good person, I want everyone to have good. Right? I wouldn't be like, nah. You should have got right. You should have got right. You see what I'm saying? If I saw people suffering, I'm like, what can we do? What can we do? Can we give them another chance? Can we work something out? You know what I mean? I mean, you almost be like, can I take their place? So there's that doesn't work like that. That doesn't work like that. All right. Now you're gonna be able to call 3D hell. You may be able to call 3D hell because of the confusion, the pain, the suffering, the things I see just in 3D is just on my IG channel. I put a lot of things on that. I just work in 3D. 3D is rough. It is rough. All right. So you can say 3D may be hell, 5D may be heaven, because 5D is love, connection, oneness with each other, peace, you know, plentifulness, abundance. So maybe you can say it like that. But a place of burning and suffering and misery. I mean, some people live a life of hell already. You gonna send them to hell? You gonna send them to hell? It doesn't even explain what happens to little children or anything. But that's what people want to believe. And so it works for them. It works for them. But us as light workers and star seeds, we have to understand and do better. We do. Now, all my star seeds out there, if you know your star seed, add your energy to the collective, join the newsletter, become part of the Conscious Collective. Let's do something like they did at the Super Bowl. Let's hijack one of their energy portals and share love. It was just, I spoke about this earlier, Nicole, how they actually hijacked one of their energy harvesting events, and they actually spread it love. All right. So you have to check that out. I'm not going to recap it, but please check it out. It's earlier in the video. So if you are a star seed, please join the Conscious Collective newsletter. That link will be in the description, so you become a part of what we're trying to do. If you think you are a star seed and you think that you may be from some other place, some other time, another dimension, and you're not really you don't really know for sure, but you're curious about your purpose and your mission, let's have a conversation. You can reach out to me free. It's a free call. You just need to schedule it. All right. I'm not just sitting there with the phone waiting for you to call, but schedule it. Schedule it. And we can have a conversation, and we can actually see if some of this resonates with you and that you are supposed to be doing this work along with us. All right. So if you want me to go live again, please thumb up this video, show the love. If you want me to start going live more, show the love, right? Thumbs up the video, become a subscriber, really boost the algorithm for me, and I'll start doing more of these lives here on YouTube. I am going to simulcast on TikTok. TikTok really, TikTok kicked me off. Those that know, been following me for a while, because of what I'm doing here. I don't use profanity. I don't use nudity. I don't do anything. I don't try to hurt people. But TikTok, they like, nah, that's too much. That's too much. You're doing too much, Baba. You're doing too much. But I will start rebroadcasting on TikTok. Just simulcasting on TikTok. I didn't have a chance to set it up today. I wanted to play with it. All right. Yeah, they're gonna do that, Nicole. They if it's too much, TikTok is like, no, we're not having that. But I'm gonna start simulcasting because I met a lot of great people on TikTok. I met a lot of great people on TikTok. But you guys can help me out here by sharing this video, thumbs up, keep it in the algorithm, people see me as a lot of things, life riffs. I'm not sure. Somebody asked me, was I something else earlier? I guess people see me as all kinds of things. I don't know what I am in other dimensions or what people are receiving. All I know is what I'm just trying to share. So if that's the way you see me, I hope it's something positive. I may be the devil to some people. I don't know, but I really appreciate you guys taking the time to allow me to share my perspective. I hope something said resonates with you in your life journey and aids you. I want to wish everyone love and light in their journey.